I ran into problem after problem out there. For me, I was trying to escape certain things. And I kept telling myself that I would, as soon as I moved out the house in my own apartment, that would be what gave me everything I needed. So I moved out the house, got my own apartment, and I still had problems. So going to college, for me, going to college was very difficult. It wasn't as simple as just get up and go. Well, I had an apartment now. I had bills now that I had to pay. I worked full time to pay those bills. So as a lot of my friends from school, the friends I had that were in the school with me, they were going to college. They were staying home with their parents to do so. That wasn't necessarily my option. So to work a job for 40 plus hours a week, I needed that particular money to pay the bills. So when did I have time to go to school? Became a little bit of the reason why I just didn't end up going to college right then. And then as problems came up that were unique and how difficult they were, I started to get alternative options from friends that I hadn't met in high school. So these were friends that were offering options that weren't necessarily legal, but they looked very advantageous because they had a lot of money attached to them and it just looked shiny. And then they offered things that I really wanted, like, you know, they say, oh, there's a family life here and there's this and that, and it looks so shiny. But on the other side, you're like, how much longevity does that really have on it? And is that worth the sacrifice that would come for doing things like that? So in the back of my mind, there was always this military idea that I knew I could have. There was experiences I was already having with this group of friends that wasn't positive experiences, and I still always had my connection with this mentor from my band director. I still always had that connection with her. And as I told her about some of the experiences that I was having with these friends, she kept telling me how abnormal those were. So you could have this group saying, this is normal, or something they would always say is, well, get over that, that's old. It'd be a week after they had done something really abnormal, and they'd say, oh, that's old. Is it really old, or should it just have never had occurred? So then there's the military option. Well, it deals with the paying for my school issue. It deals with the pain, with the how do I get my bills paid. It deals with I really wanted that family connection, that that brotherhood that I really wanted to connect with people with. And so I just wanted to check it out, went to a recruiter office, went to different branches to talk to the individuals. And I felt more of a brotherhood connection in the Army office, which is how I made the decision to continue to talk to the Army recruiters. As crazy as it would sound, when I was very young in middle school, we had a career day. And in that career day, my childhood best friend wanted to explore the military for our shadow day and the FBI. So we spent half a day with military recruiters. I didn't have any idea of what I wanted to explore, so I just went with her, with whatever she wanted to do. And that day, the military recruiters told us all kinds of things. But what stuck out in my mind was the fact that they had that brotherly connection. They were very close. They talked about that all the time, of how close they were with the people they had ever been stationed with, even people they had been stationed with years before that they still talk to every day, and all the traveling that they did. I would look at them and their lives and think how wondrous it must be for them to have experienced so many different things. They also drove nice cars. I thought they must make at least enough money to drive these nice cars.
So that just kind of stuck with you?
I had another option. I was given an opportunity to go into the drug industry. I had a problem that I needed to solve. I needed several $1,000s to fix an issue that I had. And to be honest, it feels like an option in the mind of someone who's younger and that community also wields the family word very loosely. They say, oh, well, we're your family, you're our family, we love you, but they don't treat you that way. There's things that happen that sound and feel family-like, that's true. But then there's things that happen that shouldn't happen if they were your family. So a part of you knows that something's wrong, but then a part of you who really wants that loyalty and really wants that family, you attach yourself to those good things only. And you say, well, no family is perfect. This is what I'm going to focus on. I could have attached myself to those things, and I could have stayed that way or gone that way. I don't think that route would have turned out very well. I definitely wouldn't have any degrees. I probably would have had some sort of jail time. I feel that I would have had an inability to work in any government type of job. Possibly multiple kids, not married. Or if I was married, who knows? I don't see any positive, or definitely not things that are up to the standard that I had goals to live up to. She was actually not against it at all. Fortunately, she had watched me go through, high school, watched me go through trying to do things after high school. She understood my complications with trying to go to college right then. And she'd always wanted me to be able to have a profession in my life. She wanted to know what my plan was and how I was going to get after having a profession. And I told her that the military was going to offer me a route to have this profession. To be truly honest with you, I felt like I was not smart enough for these things. When I came to the Army, I didn't think I could problem solve. I was someone who was so timid, in fact, that one of my managers, the manager I worked with at that time that I was going to the Army, pulled me aside and said, "You are too timid for the Army. Don't do it. It's going to eat you alive. The type of people that go to the Army are this type of person." He described what he felt like that person should be. And that is not who you are. I believe that he was honestly trying to help me out because I was not a very strong-willed person. I was the person who was very, very timid. Matter of fact, I would describe my person before the Army as the most timid person you'd ever met. When I told her I'm going to go to college, it was to get her approval. I did not think a person who graduated high school with a 2.7 GPA was going to go to college. But I sit in front of you with multiple degrees, my GPA being 3.8 to 4.0, always.
And that's all while you've been in.
And that's all while I've been in. Problem solving is something I can do as a major skill. I couldn't problem solve well enough to get myself, before the Army, I couldn't problem solve well enough to get myself home off the freeway. But it is a skill that has been taught to me in the military. I actually truly believe that smart isn't something that you are born with. Smart is your study habits. And the military was able to teach me study habits even. Communication. The military taught me communication to the degree where you are an actual ambassador for the military. you're an ambassador for the country. But these are things that the military teaches you once you get in. This from being the most timid person that you ever did meet. And now I'm an ambassador for an organization of 500,000 people, but also for an entire country whenever I'm outside of the United States. And these aren't things that I barely do. These are things that I'm decent at doing. Originally, I was very much unplanned. I knew that I would do at least an enlistment, but I didn't know if I would be good at it. I didn't have a lot of confidence of what I could be good at in life.
How long have you been in now?
And now I've been in for 16 years, and I've definitely proven to myself that I want to finish out a full career. I'll probably stay in longer than 20 for sure. There are challenges in the military, yes. There, especially in the beginning, whenever I had yet to feel confident in my own person, when I had yet to realize that I could be good at this. So in basic training, I did have to problem solve. Problem solving was not something that I saw as a strong point. As I went through all of the obstacles, all of the different phases of just having to problem solve, and go through all of the issues there, I started to build confidence. Then in my first duty assignment, I started to tackle one thing at a time. Fortunately, in the military, you have an entire support network. So as long as you're willing to reach out, people will. I was very fortunate where people were always willing to help and open up. But yes, there are challenging times when you're wondering, did I make the right choice? During your deployments, you will face some very challenging moments. I would say as an individual, I'm most proud of my relationships, my connections. You can't replace relationships. Those are the most, for me, literally my most rewarding things are the individuals I call my brothers. They know who they are. I don't let them miss themselves, because when I need to talk to someone, when I need anything, my brothers are there. When they need something, I am there. And that gives me the most satisfaction in life, to have those connections. Military as a leader is the mentorship. Non-commissioned officers need mentorship. I need mentorship. I have mentors in the military, as you know, talking to Sarah. I have mentorship in the civilian side as well. I mentor NCOs, and it is the mentorship that helps keep the non-commissioned officer corps so strong. And we have a term in the military that we say that non-commissioned officers are the backbone of the Army. That was something I heard way early in my time in service, but it could not be more true of a statement. You have a strong group of NCOs in your organization, you are going to have a strong organization. And that is the truth, no matter what non-commissioned officer you talk to, no matter what commissioned officer that you talk to. It just is reality. If you have a strong non-commissioned officer group in your organization, it's because you have a strong mentorship going on in that organization.
Now you spoke of mentorship, and let me ask you this.